Welcome to the Health and Wealth Podcast. This is a show dedicated to the pursuit of health and wealth without losing your health to attain that wealth. With this podcast, we're going to share stories and best practices of successful business owners who either sell health or have health as part of their business plan. You're going to get great marketing and strategic advice from proven, successful experts. We will also be sharing stories from successful entrepreneurs who lost their health on the road to wealth, what they learned, and how they do things differently now, both in business and in life. Let's welcome your host, businesswoman, personal trainer, and podcast queen, JJ Flazanes.
Welcome back to Health and Wealth. I'm JJ Flazanes. Thank you for downloading today's episode. Today's show did appear on my other channels, and again, I am pulling it forward to Health and Wealth because it is directly linked to health and wealth, and that energetic component of other aspects, other energies, other belief systems, other patterning that can stop you from getting to the next level financially. So I thought that was an important show to bring forward here. It is with Lisa Thomas, and Lisa has been working with me in all of my events, and I have worked with her privately for a couple of years now. And so I thought this was, again, an important show to put here on Health and Wealth. If you want to know more about Lisa, on my show and have her explain many more things, from forgiveness to what clearing inherited emotional DNA means to her story. You can find all of her shows on Spirit, Purpose, and Energy, as well as Fit to Love and Women, Men, and Relationships. Before I tell you a little bit about Lisa, I just want to also offer you a couple other resources. And again, you can check the show notes for links to these resources. Depending on when you are listening to the show, it is almost the end of January 2020, and I opened an Inner Circle Mastermind. And that mastermind is only 15 people, including me, which makes it 16. And I have a few spaces left. So if you're someone who wants to break your upper limit, you're ready to make more money in 2020, and you're ready to do the work on the mental, emotional, and physical side and not lose your health in pursuit of wealth, but really honor your own path, I would invite you to reach out to me because I have a few spaces left, and it is a guarantee. I am actually giving a guarantee that you will make your investment back, and it is a fraction of the price of other masterminds, okay? Because I'm launching it this year. And again, we're almost full, but there are a few spaces left. So please reach out, jj@jjflazanes.com. That would be the way to find out more and to have a quick call with me and see if it's a fit for you. Also, I have a lower priced membership program. It's my Inner Circle. And within the Inner Circle, we do once a month group coaching. And in that group coaching, you can talk about anything. You can bring anything to the table. And we've talked about money a little bit and some of the other emotional and physical components. So that Inner Circle is $9.99 with a 7-day free trial. And you can go to jjflazanes.com/inner circle to learn more about that. Lisa Thomas is an energy healer, and she specializes in clearing inherited emotional DNA. And a lot of people wonder what inherited energy is, and it's the energy that's passed down to us on a cellular and soul level. It's not something you see, but it's something you feel, and it often drives you to make decisions or repeat patterns in your life that don't serve you and keep you from living abundantly with joy. I know you're going to love Lisa. And again, remember, there are 3 or 4 other shows that Lisa is on. Plus, there's video with Lisa on my jjflazanes.tv, which is my YouTube site. So if you want to learn more, you can check Lisa out at all these different places. Today, we have back Lisa Thomas. We're going to discuss how to accelerate money. For those of you that are new to the show, Lisa's been on 3 other times. I'm going to give you the episode numbers that appear on Spirit, Purpose, and Energy, although her shows can be found on Fit to Love, as well as on Women, Men, and Relationships, and maybe even Nutrition and Alternative Medicine. So under Spirit, Purpose, and Energy, she did episode 41, Clearing Inherited Emotional DNA. On episode 47, we talked about removing blocks to prosperity and love. And episode 95, How to Protect Your Energy. So here we are today going to discuss how to accelerate money. Before we get into today's show, I just want to remind you there is a free webinar coming up on Thursday, September 5th. the mind, body, soul method of manifestation. And I would highly recommend that you sign up for that. If you come live, you get a bunch of bonus gifts for being live on the webinar. Otherwise, there will be a replay of a video. So if you can't make it live, you'll at least get the benefit of the teachings that I'm going to do and the questions that get asked during the webinar after the fact. So that is jjflizanes.com/manifesting. Again, jjflizanes.com/manifesting. So for today's show, Lisa Thomas is a transformational leader, gifted healer, and intuitive coach. She integrates business with her natural gifts to help clients embrace all of life. Working with talented people from all walks of life to help them get their gifts and talents into the world in a more significant way, she believes everyone deserves to be seen, known, and heard for who they are. Lisa is devoted to reconnecting people to their soul's purpose so they can experience more love, joy, and financial abundance. She has helped thousands of people worldwide to achieve their business and life goals by releasing inherited emotional DNA, such as fear of success, fear of failure, anxiety, procrastination, fear of public speaking, false money beliefs, relationship drama, and business stagnation. She does this within her small group programs, private coaching, and meditation healing activation products. She lives in Los Angeles, California with her husband and family. She's been featured on Good Morning La La Land, Allie and You, Dare to Dream, Inspired Conversations, as well as other shows and podcasts, like all of mine. Her book, Mistakes into Money, will be published at the end of summer 2019. Welcome back to the show, Lisa.
I'm so happy to be here. I love being on your show, JJ.
And I love you being on my show, Lisa, because your shows are the most popular shows. I know you hear it. I hear it. Everyone knows Lisa. So you're the resident healer of spirit, purpose, and energy, fit to love, nutrition, alternative medicine, and women, men, and relationships. So currently
it's an honor, right? I will accept that 100%. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. If you're new to my show, Lisa Thomas is definitely one of the number one healers I recommend to everyone for everything. And while having multiple people help you out is very beneficial because everybody brings something different to the table. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you've known Lisa's been on several shows and we talk about different angles for different things. And even though when we talk about energy healing and things of that nature, we're often talking about physical things, what's really unique about what Lisa does is, as you have heard this before, in fact, we did a video on clearing money beliefs because we were preparing for the next big step, which that event was actually a little bit more about business than the other events that I've done. So today we're going to talk about money acceleration and how to accelerate money and how that's connected to our energy and what influence our past and our energetic ties have to our ability to manifest money. Because as you know, we talk a lot about law of attraction, and sometimes there's a conscious mind interaction we need to clean up. And a lot of times there's even subconscious stuff that we deal with. And I think what we're going to talk about today takes us even further past that. So Lisa, let's talk about money acceleration and clearing inherited emotional DNA.
My favorite topic, JJ. Well, money can be complicated, but it doesn't have to be. So money, if we feel complication around money, it can cause us to have a dread feeling, kind of like dread is one of those heavy burden words that cause us to believe that all hope is lost, that we are so constricted around money and in our life that there's no way to get out of it. And that impossible feeling of change takes over. Well, those are low vibrations. And so my intention is we got to get rid of the low vibration to empower us to accelerate our money.
So obviously, if people are listening to the show, they understand vibration to a certain degree. And we've gone over, whether it be in the manifestation challenge or on the show, again, what we can control or what we can focus. And I hate the word control, what we can direct our attention to in the conscious mind. And then the other work we can do with the subconscious mind. So let's talk about what elements you bring into, because I know your work also affects the subconscious, but it's beyond that.
It is. So for those that are new, let's put it in a science frame of mind, to the logical mind. So what I'm doing is I'm working within the DNA code. So the DNA code is everything that makes us 5 feet tall or 6'5". It gives us our green, brown, or blue eyes. We cannot change that. But what we can change is the epigenetics, and that is how our DNA expresses itself. So in relationship to money, we can inherit money beliefs. We can inherit the struggle energy that life has to be hard. And it's all based on the life experiences of our ancestors. And those experiences get handed down in our cell memory.
And to piggyback on that in terms of connecting it to law of attraction,
Mm-hmm.
that frequency feels normal for you, right? Because you were raised in it, you are used
Yes.
to it. It's something
Yes.
that you might not think is a problem because it's all you know.
Right.
Until we look at our results, until we look at what things we're manifesting or not manifesting and why it's not working, we have to go, well, where's the problem? Where's the disconnect?
And it'll show up in your life. So some people say to me, well, Lisa, how do I know if it's inherited? Or how do I know if it's a learned behavior? Well, they kind of go hand in hand. But you're going to know that it's inherited if you are constantly doing the same thing over and over and it's not working. So there's a burden energy that needs to be released. And it could be a limiting belief that money is the root of all evil. Like we hear that a lot, but that's very real. Or that money is going to complicate your life, or that money is going to bring unhappiness in some way, or that money is going to cause you to be judged negatively. These are inherited aspects that come through lineage.
What I find fascinating about that concept, and it's not a concept, it's a reality, but is that most of us, I don't mean to speak for all of you, but many of you, because I know me, especially the more conscious you are, the more in touch with, the more you've played with your subconscious mind, with more you've been able to hear some of those belief systems, is your conscious mind might say, no, that's ridiculous. I don't think that at all. I don't believe that at all. Yet what you are doing, what your frequency is absolutely that. And I remember once using the Holosync program way back when, Bill Harris's program, and it was a series of tones. And it was about an ex-boyfriend. And I've told the story in the show before. The ex-boyfriend, I was watching my behavior as an observer, and I kept thinking, why are you doing this? Like I was buying him all these gifts. I was putting pictures in frames. I was working really hard to surround him all of the time with gifts from me, reminders of me, poetry. He was writing poetry, so I started writing poetry. And I was thinking to myself, I was literally like watching myself do it as an observer, thinking, why are you behaving like this? Is it because you think he's going to forget you? And my conscious mind said, no, that's ridiculous. He's not going to forget me. He already told me he got rid of his best girlfriend ever, his first girlfriend who he put on a pedestal. He already got rid of all of her stuff and replaced her with me. Of course he's not going to forget me. So I'm laying in bed and I'm listening to these tones. And I remember sort of like if your head's a computer screen, and like when those sales happen at those department stores, right? It's like the little note that goes across and the red dots on the black screen. And so the little red dots on the black screen went across my head. Are you afraid he's going to forget you? And something dropped straight down into my solar plexus and gut area and touched something. It came right back up and I burst into tears. And I thought, oh my God, I do believe that. So I want to, now without using that kind of tool, how can people tell when they're in your work, in your opinion, how can people more quickly identify that my conscious mind may think I believe one thing, but how does it resonate in my body is another thing. How can we tell when it really is a belief that we have?
Because it's a pattern that keeps repeating itself. So it could be that you have to be very self-aware. So if you're not self-aware, then you're caught on a hamster wheel. And that doesn't feel good. And nor does life worth experiencing if you're always on a hamster wheel. So what I want to say is if you're experiencing challenge around income, oftentimes it has little to do with you being smart enough or committed enough or created enough. It has everything to do with your mind, where your heart is, and the beliefs that you have that can attract new opportunities for money. So and really what I'm saying is the same thing you are, JJ. It has a lot to do with your mindset. So I have found that even successful people that have made a lot of money in their life still have a limiting belief that that's as good as life gets. So you can have what I call upper limiting beliefs. And those occur with people that have had success. And maybe they feel that if they had more success, people in their family would not relate with them. Our families play actually a lot in our life and how far we can go. If we're trying to please them or we feel like we're going to be rejected, I even worked with a client that was limiting their money growth because they had a belief that their family, their siblings, was going to ask to borrow money from them.
It's amazing when you
Yes.
actually dig to, again, and I bet you if you on the surface said to someone, is that what you are afraid of? Is that what's stopping you from making money? The knee-jerk response would be, no, of course not. That's ridiculous. Why would I stop myself
Mm-hmm.
from making more money because I'm afraid my sister's going to ask me for it? But
Yeah.
once we kind of dig and go below the surface and find out that really is, I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to have to
Mm-hmm.
tell her no. I don't want to fight. I don't want to, the pressure, I don't want to deal with it. Right?
Right. And they don't want to have to say no to someone that's in need. That's very uncomfortable to set that healthy boundary of what's appropriate and what isn't. And so oftentimes it's very common. They will even pretend like they don't have that much money, or they don't want to talk about their business, or they don't want to they don't want to go into how successful they are because they don't want to be judged, and they don't want to be asked for money. They don't want that responsibility. The other limiting belief that I have found is that people limit their success because they don't want to outdo their parents. Now, that might be a real tricky one. Like, really? That comes up? It does. So, if you had parents that were blue collar, that got up at 4:30 in the morning, they stayed with that job for 35 years to put food on the table and get you into school. Who are you? Now, think about the subconscious to be above that. And so you're a little bit uncomfortable being more than your parents. And yet, what parent doesn't want their child to be more than them? So I call that a limiting belief that holds us back.
Well, I know several people who have that and have had that, and I know people
Yes.
you worked with that I know
Mm-hmm.
who that clearing that actually made a huge difference for them. And I know, when we look back at these limiting beliefs about money, and also I want to talk a little bit about alignment,
Yes.
because alignment, I'm thinking about my path, I'm thinking about your path. And for those
Mm-hmm.
who haven't heard, because it's been a while since you've been on the show, Lisa has done other shows in the past where we went over a little bit more in depth what she does, which is clearing inherited emotional DNA, and a little bit about her story and how to protect yourself. So I guess I recommend, if anyone is new to the show and you haven't heard those, please, 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 I'm sure I mentioned them in the intro here to today's episode. Write them down, go back and listen to them, because understanding this on a deeper level is really important for understanding the power
Mm-hmm.
of this work. And so I want to talk about your breakthrough and my breakthrough, and my evolution and your evolution, because we keep
Mm-hmm.
growing and there's
Yes.
definite shifts. So maybe talk from personal experience and talk about alignment and your growth, the allowing and what happened to you financially.
Yeah. Thank you, JJ. So for me, I work in the spiritual realm, and yet I was taught to believe that I could not sell, quote unquote, my spiritual gifts or I would lose them. And yet, what I do, so for me, when I realized that what comes easiest for me is helping other people. And when I started to charge, it was very uncomfortable for me because I was having to get out of that uncomfortable feeling of doing something different than how I was taught. So for me, making money has become a fun thing. I enjoy making money because I enjoy helping people. And I have a philosophy that when we are in alignment, it's with what comes easy for us. And we're taught to resist and push away with what comes easy. We discount that because we have this belief that we have to like prove ourselves that we can do science and math and all these different things, when really that isn't what we're supposed to do. So if you're a feeler, becoming a structural engineer is not really going to bring you the most joy in your work. So it was me getting out of myself and doing what comes easy. And I've never been happier in my life than where I am now.
What did you think attributes to for you? Because it hasn't always been that way. And
No.
so what was the determining factor of the breakthrough, of the enough is enough, of the I'm going to do this? Because that belief that we're looking for permission for others, so many
Yeah.
people are looking, and then myself included, looking for permission for others
Mm-hmm.
to buy into what we're doing before we can allow ourselves to receive that which we know we want and we deserve and we are going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, even though consciously, I mean, I did it for years where I thought, well, I'm going to try to prove to myself, I want you to buy into this so that way I can truly receive what I'm meant to receive. And at some point you have to decide that no one else's opinion is really going to help you. In fact, it's holding you back. So for you, what was your determining factor?
It was actually learning from the past. So for me, I learned when I was like, I did some multi-level stuff years and years ago, and the first people I would go to was my family. Never once were they on board with a new project that I took on. Never once. And I came to realize it's because people really are not comfortable with change. Family in particular, they know you the way they want to see you, way they were raised, how you fit into the family dynamic. And so change is uncomfortable for them. And so I stopped asking them. So when I started this work, I followed my intuition. I followed what I heard, and that was, Lisa, just do it. I was told multiple times, just do it. And so I learned from the past, and I did not ask for people's opinion. So I didn't go to my mom and my dad or my siblings and say, hey, what do you think about this? I think I'm going to start to become a healer. No, I didn't do that. In fact, anybody that I was close to, I didn't ask their opinion. I just trusted that if I was told to do it, it would all work out. So it's getting out of the belief that you have to get permission from someone else, because you don't.
Now, the work that you do, clearing inherited emotional DNA, can you do it on yourself?
You can. And I'm going to be teaching people how to do that. But the deal is, you can only go so deep because your subconscious is your master controller and it's there to protect you. So when it comes to doing work on yourself, you can only go so far. And then on those deeper things that come up, you really need some help to do that.
Right. We don't know what we don't know.
No.
And there's sort of that end, like you said, upper limiting belief, that end of the comfort zone, so to speak, that if your vision is only so far, having the next level to be helped with, be aided in the next bump up, it's been really amazing. My own manifestation, transformation, even in the short time I've been with Doug, because he comes from, a father who was a multi-million-dollar sales trainer. And even though Doug didn't have any part in that business, there has been this era of, like, talk about passing on good gifts. One of the best gifts he got was just to literally walk around believing that he can do anything, make as much. And he values a lot of what he does pretty high, and he gets it easily. And here I am watching him thinking, wait a minute, I do that better than you. Why am I mean, he would agree with that. This is not being right thing. This is me saying, no, I have more tools in my toolbox than you do about this thing. And I've been doing it longer. Not that matters. But I literally, in my mind, would think, I do that better than you. And you're charging twice as much as I am.
I'll tell you why, JJ. It's because he was born in affluence. Okay. He was born in money. And those people that are born in money have one advantage in that they already believe that they're worthy of it.
Well, he wasn't born, his mother didn't have any money. His mother struggled, but his father didn't at some point.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
He was born into an affluent family, at some point. So if dad can do it, see, we associate who we are based on mom and dad. And so he already had the belief that if someone else can do it in the family, he can too, meaning his father. All right. Now, he might have inherited a different fear, though, that he wasn't as good as his dad. All right. So just because you're born into money doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to struggle. People that have the belief that they're worthy of it might have a problem expanding. Like they reach a level and they think that's good enough. So they still have upper limiting beliefs, but the ability to make money is always there. They know they can do it.
So I know that he has this attraction, he attracts money very easily in one way. But there are definitely other, limiting beliefs. We're not,
Yeah.
it's just looking at subject by subject. And
Hmm.
today's show is focused on money. And while,
Right.
there's other areas where there's less, there's more scarcity in other areas, if you will, and this one comes a little bit easier. There's a lot of people out there who believe, because again, we're going to manifest whatever we believe and we're in alignment with. And
Hmm.
so you're not even noticing the things you believe that are working for you because it just come easily and come naturally. And
Right.
the part of the work that we want to do with people, that you want to do through clearing this inherited emotional DNA, and part of the work I want to do with changing someone's belief and getting into alignment and creating some trust, and also being able to follow the impulse that your subconscious is giving to you, because I think that's how we also can live more effectively in this world of just creating a different relationship with either our higher self or source or creator or
Hmm.
whatever you want to say,
Hmm.
so that we can trust that we're being led down the path that we need to go on, that the next right step will be laid out for us. But if we're not in alignment, we're not going to notice it. We're not going to hear that call. We're not going to hear our intuition. So in the case of money, let's talk about, I know that you've got a program because, Lisa can't work with everyone individually in the world. There's not enough time in the day. So one of the wonderful things that she's been incorporating over the last couple of years is to create programs that you can do on your own. So it's like working with her, but you're going to get the benefits and you can use it over and over again. And it's just like a program, like a movie that you want to watch 10 times. So you purchase it once and then you get it and you can continue to use it to clear. What are some of the main belief systems that we're working around? I know you mentioned upper limiting beliefs about expanding to the next level, about family, outdoing your parents, getting their permission, getting their buy-in. What are some of the other things that you think are main themes for most people that keep bumping up against, why isn't money easier?
Well, let's put it into now. Let's shift it just a hair, JJ, and talk about, so it's not just what's in our mind, but it's also the vibration, the frequency that we're sending out. And I know that that's a lot of different language, maybe not so much in your world with your tribe. These are your people that you talk about, about frequency. But frequency is like an electric panel. And when a crimp in the wire in your in your home gets, the wire gets crimped, the electricity doesn't flow. Well, it's the same thing with our vibration. And if you have a vibration of scarcity, so every word in the dictionary has a frequency attached to it. So love has the highest, shame is the lowest. And scarcity is one of those that has a lack energy. So if scarcity is in your energy vibration, we send that out, right? So these frequencies go out into the world, whether you're aware of it or not. And it kind of reminds me of, 200 years ago, the idea of germs was something that wasn't understood. So the idea of a doctor needing to wash his hands so that it would save lives, nobody believed that. It was language that was so woo-woo, because if you can't see it, it doesn't exist. But 200 years later, we know the impact of germs and how it saves lives to wash our hands. And our energy is the same way. Just because we don't see it doesn't mean that this frequency doesn't exist, because it does. So in these meditations, I'm clearing vibrations that are low, like scarcity, that cause us to feel like we are lacking, because it limits us, it limits our potential, it limits our possibilities, it prevents us from going to the next level, and it slows down money flow. So these meditations they're really activations. And what it does is I'm clearing out low vibrations from your energy system. And when I do that, I'm also replacing it with a higher frequency. And this will allow new opportunities into your life. And it'll allow you to make more money.
So we do talk about vibration and frequency on the show a lot. And I like to look at it as the levels of, we have our conscious mind, the thoughts that we're aware we're having, the focus, the willpower, the things that we're choosing to focus on in that moment. And then there's that subconscious part where we have beliefs, like I mentioned with the story about the ex-boyfriend, beliefs that you don't even know you have, that you think you don't have, but exist. It's a frequency I'm carrying. I didn't know I had it until I tapped into my subconscious and it was like, oh yeah, you believe that. And I was like, oh my God, like it makes no logical sense. Why do I believe that? But I did. And that frequency was inside of me emanating out, even though I didn't know it. And then we moved to, which, most of our frequencies are created by our subconscious, but then there's that next level of that inherited sort of DNA tagging that we're talking about. The other things that it's further out, like an aura, right? Like it's that, it's not just within us, it's connected to us on such a deeper level, on such a broader level, that when you're clearing things, it's every light body chakra. What was it that you say? Through every DNA, meridian, tissue, meridian, light body chakra. So it's like layer upon layer upon layer of clearing of the things that, even though, because I'm thinking about a few people right now in my mind who would say to me, I don't have scarcity, or I do trust. It's like, but your actions are screaming the opposite. Your frequency is palatable in that it's different. And so I think from my perspective, what a lot of people come up against, and myself included, I am no different. I'm on the same path as all of you. We're all working together to expand and clean up our stuff. But until we take a step back and say, you know what, maybe I do believe that. Like, look at what's happening. Look at the results. Look at what I'm not getting. Look at the things I think I should be getting and I'm not. Well, there's a block, right?
Right. And maybe it's okay if you don't see it, but you're willing to trust that there's something that you don't understand. Right? We don't have to actually be aware of it for it to be there. So you can have all the knowledge and the resources and your work ethic in the world, but if your unconscious beliefs around money is what actually determines your income level, and these unconscious beliefs influence your conscious patterns, and that determines your result. So what if you could release these frequencies that you're not aware of and allow your vibration to be higher? It will change the frequency of money for you, and it will allow all this work that you're doing to manifest in more abundance. Like, that brings so much hope to me, to realize that I can change, that I don't have to stay uncomfortable.
Well, I think it's also a great tool. I believe in that, again, that's the mind, body, soul approach, that it's all, we take a full prong approach here from inside out to outside in, because why not? Why not? Because we may think one way works better than the other way, but here we are trying something new, and all of a sudden it didn't take any extra effort. Like, wow, that was easier than I thought. I didn't know that was hanging around. It's not necessarily attached to something that I constantly focus on or that I even experienced. So things like what you're doing in your programs and when you work with people, when you work with me. I remember when you came to clear me for my situation with my relationship, with my marriage. And I remember that I was totally not wanting that to go away. I knew, okay, on the manifestation side, my work was that my belief was that I absolutely knew I was going to get what I wanted. I knew I'd get it. I just thought consciously, path of least resistance, that I was going to get it from my husband because because I trusted my impulse when I married him. I trusted everything about that situation. And so, but there was something that came into the clearing that we did that we sort of honored where I was with all of what I wanted. And then there was a little like, well, if it shouldn't work out, I'm clearing an easy transition. And I remember thinking to myself when you said that, I remember thinking, no, I don't know what she's talking about there. I don't know what she's talking about there. Like, there's not going to be, no, but this is going to work out. This is going to work out. Right. And then of course, what happened, you all know, within 2 hours of me surrendering to the universe to say this, do you want to be married anymore? Doug and I, boom. So the universe said, here, this is what you've been asking for. Now you're open to receive it. And it was literally like, not that I was trying to resist your clearing. I just noticed it. Again, I didn't have any energetic resistance, but I had this total mental block of like, no. Like, what is she talking about? It's not going to, we're not going to go there. We don't need to go there. So, and I remember that, of course, after my easy transition happened very easily, I thought, okay, like now okay, well, you cleared it and it happened. And I didn't resist it, but I noticed it. And again, here's the situation of where my mind said one thing, but you cleared my energy. So it didn't matter what my mind said at that moment because the path was open.
That's right. I love that story. Yeah. And it's a perfect example too of that it's not always what we believe, right? That are holding us back. So, for example, if you grew up in a household with limiting beliefs around money, those limiting beliefs, even though you're an adult and you've worked through some of that stuff and you realize that that was their issue, they can actually still be holding you back.
Well, and again, the multi-layer approach, right? I did believe that I was going to get what I wanted. I just didn't attach it to the scenario of it had to be my husband, but that I wanted it to be. But I knew, because of the work that I do with law of attraction, it wasn't about the how, it was just about the what. The what was, I believe in every cell of my being, I will get the relationship that I want, period.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't go too deep into the specifics about that. I just focused on what I wanted.
That's
Right.
right.
And even though I didn't, like, logically in my conscious mind, when you cleared, in case it didn't work out, even though I didn't logically or in my brain want to believe or agree with that,
Mm-hmm.
when the energy was removed, again, those two things, my deep knowing, which is about some of the work that, that I tell people to do with law of attraction, that we get to that place, and then the clearing, those two things combined created the perfect situation for for the next evolution and expansion, which was my relationship with Doug, and really spreading my wings further than I ever have before.
Yeah.
So the work that you do is, anyone can benefit from it. And again, from having a major transformation of, again, some of these things that I'm talking about that happened for me, things that where you may not even believe it, but it because you, like, in your mind, but you get to remove the energy from it, and all of a sudden you're a clear channel, and now it's going to flow to you. And from sort of that perspective to even just maybe starting to kind of chip away a little bit at clearing something that's connected to a belief that not only the outside in of the clearing is going to do, but then also being able to take this work and do the inside out. So let's talk about the Money Accelerator series. You created this series for people who couldn't necessarily see you. You weren't going to, it's a way for you to easily reach more people all over the world to help them with money. So talk about what the Money Accelerated series includes.
The first one in the series, there's 3 hours of content in this. And the first one is all about releasing inherited patterns, what we get from mom and dad, and coming down into your cells and through your lineage. That's the first one. And it's clearing limiting beliefs and money blocks. And so, for example, let me give you a win for somebody who's never worked with me personally, by the way. He's a successful business coach. And he said, Lisa, you don't have time for me. I don't have time to get on your schedule. It's too far out. I'm going to buy your money program. He bought the money program. It's a month program. He did the entire thing. He text messaged me and he said, Lisa, after listening to this, I raised my prices by $25,000. And I've attracted 2 people into my program. So it doesn't matter where you are in life, it's going to help you. Now, the second one in the series is about honoring money. And that might seem like, well, I honor my money, but you'd be surprised on a subconscious level where we dishonor our money. So oftentimes there is a pattern of attracting money and then spending everything that comes in. Or maybe you have that bad luck of every time you have something extra, the dishwasher breaks or your car breaks or something happens, or a child needs your money. Or you have a belief that you have to spend it or you're going to lose it. That's going to clear those. And then the third one in the series is about accelerating. Now, in each one of these, when I release a vibration, I also replace it. So you're always going to be receiving high vibrational energy activations to bring in more money. And on the third CD, though, or audio, it's all about accelerating your money. So the whole series is about acceleration of your money flow and about bringing in new opportunities, clearing out scarcity, clearing out false beliefs so you can step into your purpose. And really, I believe that you can get paid for your gifts and talents. I truly believe you can be happy making money. In fact, I say that money is the same high vibration as love, and they go hand in hand. And when we allow ourselves to accept us for who we are, we love ourselves, money will flow in more abundance.
And also, it's really a good mirror for how much love are you letting into your life?
Hmm.
How much self-love, how much love for what it is you provide people, the value that you have inherent to who you are, not because you perform in any certain way or have to hit any kind of marks, but just sort of that unconditional love. I think that would be really a great way to take note of, well, if I'm not loving myself, that's a reflection. This whole money conversation is a reflection of that too.
It is. And you will also notice that it will help in other areas of your life. So if you've got, if I'm clearing like an emotion of abandonment, you think, well, how is abandonment pertinent to money? Well, it actually is, because when we abandon who we are and our hopes and our dreams, then it's going to block money flow. It'll block love in your life. It'll block success. So don't ever think that it's just in one quadrant, because it's not.
All right, so let's talk about how people can get the Money Accelerator series. But before we do that, because I don't know, I'm sure people have heard on this show that Lisa and I do many events together. I started this back in 2018. After working with her, I decided that this was, again, she offered that next level of clearing. There's so much that we can do ourselves with, again, the conscious and even the subconscious mind. But just like any other gifts and tools that people have, here's another level and layer that has helped me and I think can help you. And I know it can help you. So we started with releasing What Weighs You Down in 2018, and then the next big step in 2018, and then the next releasing What Weighs You Down in 2019 in January. And now we're doing the Manifestation Boot Camp. And that is happening kind of soon. It's happening October 11th through the 13th in Los Angeles. And it's that combined work of what we've been talking about this entire show. It's the combined work of what you focus on. It's looking at the things, the tools, the habits that you can influence and add to yourself. And then it's those things that you have no control over, that you have no idea about, that Lisa adds to this clearing. So if this is resonating with you because you know you've been trying many things and those things just aren't really working yet, and you're figuring there's some kind of block, it could be an energetic block. It could be that you're actually, because another thing in law of attraction is many of us focus on what we want, but we don't realize when we focus on what we want, many times we're activating the absolute opposite frequency. And people don't know how to get around that. So we're going to be dealing with that at the boot camp. So anyway, that's October 11th through the 13th in Los Angeles. And there are some tickets left and we'd love you to come. But let's talk about how, so Money Accelerator series, the way to get that. Do you want to talk about the price?
Right. The price. Now you cannot find this on my website. I don't, it's not a published series. This is a special program that I offer to my high-level clients, and it's regularly $500. So when I speak on stage, this is what I offer for $500. But I am offering it to your tribe, JJ, for $197. It's a price that is affordable, and I know that the program works. And I want it to be affordable because I want people to get help. I want them to get out of this limiting belief that life has to be hard and money can't flow. It's a full month. It'd be great if they got it, if you purchased it and started the program. That way, when you come to the event on October 11th, you're going to have something new you want my help with. Like things will have shifted and you're going to be like, Lisa, I need help with this. Because at that event, I'm working with you. I'm working with the group. And we do clearings every single day. And it's life-changing to be at this event. So start early and purchase this program so that you can get a heads up, like a head start.
So here's what we're going to do. If you know that you want to come to the event, or you're on the fence about it because it's about time that you sort of break this cycle and pattern because you're tired of it. You're tired of constantly doing something that you think is working, but let's be honest, you know that it's not. It hasn't moved the needle. I mean, really, right? Because we talk ourselves into the bullshit, if you will, of, oh yeah, it's working. Is it? Yeah. Are you different? Is life different? Is the bank account different? Are your habits different? Are your feelings about this different? If they're not, again, so many people have this control in their minds that I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Let me remind you that the place you want to go is a place you haven't been before. Mm-hmm. And you don't know what that feels like. And you don't know what you need to release to get there.
And it's not going to change you. That's what's important is there's no like, you're not going to get changed to a different person. What's wonderful is that you get to emerge as the soul that you were put on this earth to be without these complicated things happening in your life. Everybody deserves to have more ease in their life.
So what I'm going to do is those of you that want to come to the event, and again, you're on the fence about it, I'm going to gift you Lisa's program when you buy the ticket for the event. So you will get Lisa's program now to use when you purchase your ticket to the Manifestation Boot Camp. So if that is something, and let me tell you, that's like taking $200 off the top of so which is already an affordable thing. And there's still a payment plan in case you get this, you're listening to this before September 10th. There's still a payment plan that you could do. You can do a 2-month payment plan and get Lisa's work right now for free. I will include it in the ticket. Wow. So how you're going to get it though, is you're going to go to jjflizanes.com/bootcamp. And then you're going to, after you purchase the ticket, you're going to forward me the purchase and tell me that you've listened to today's show and you want Lisa's program. Okay. So jjflizanes.com/bootcamp. Again, this, I think it's a pretty amazing bonus. It's a 30-day program. So not only, like Lisa said, when you get it, you will use it, and then you will have manifested more money already before you even get to the boot camp. And then we can go that much further, that much deeper in cleansing, clearing your energy, as well as changing your habits, patterns, and beliefs, and the things that you practice so that we're to the next level. So that is my incentive for those of you, because I know many of you complain every year about the same thing over and over again when it comes to money. And, we're doing Releasing What Weighs You Down again in 2020. And we'll talk about that later, Lisa and I, and it's happening at 1440 Multiversity. But we don't have as much time during Releasing What Weighs You Down. We spend a little bit of time on scarcity and money, but the boot camp is really designed for that abundance energy in all aspects of life. And versus the January energy is about the freedom energy that we want to attract in our health, in our weight, in our relationships, in our relationships with others. So the energies of the different events are different. And if money is something that you've been struggling with over and over again, every year it doesn't change, and you've even been to one of the events before, this event will literally be focused mostly on money. We will focus on some of the other things because you can't help it, but we will mostly focus on money. So if you've been complaining, please stop complaining, because at this point we're giving you a package valued way over several $1,000s for, at this point, $697. Okay, you're going to get to come to the 3-day event, plus you get Lisa's program that she charges $500 for free. Yes. So that's jjflizanes.com/bootcamp. You buy your ticket, and you can do the payment plan. You forward me your receipt and you say, I want Lisa's program. And then I will send you Lisa's program and we'll be done. And you can already be on your way. Now, for those of you there, whether you live in Asia, you live in Australia, you're not coming, you're sick, you can't get out of bed, whatever the case may be, you just, maybe you're going to come to January's event instead because you feel a greater pull there, but you really, really want this work. Then you're going to go to jjflizanes.com/money to purchase the special offer Lisa made for $197 for this program that he normally charges $500 for. Okay. So it's called the Money Accelerated Series. That's jjflizanes.com/money for those of you that just want to purchase the program. And again, when you purchase the program, you keep it forever. So yeah, you do it once for 30 days and then, you go through the program and then things get better and then you do it again in another month or two, and you can continue clearing and continue expanding. So that's what I love about the recordings, because they're usable over and over again. In fact, why don't you talk about that for a second, Lisa? The benefit of doing it multiple times. Is there, can you do it too much? Should everyone do it multiple times?
Yes. So in this program, there's a lot of directions, and you're going to listen to each audio twice, at minimum of 2 times within 1 week. The most you can listen to it is 3 times. So what you want to do is listen to one audio and then wait 48 hours, because your body needs time to heal. It needs time to process. It needs time to rebalance. And when you listen to it too often, it is very hard on your adrenals. So you might catch a cold. I don't want you to get sick in this process. There's no need for that. So you just follow directions. It takes a complete month to get through this program, and you will begin feeling different from the word go.
Okay. So we want to see you at the event because there's nothing more powerful than coming together and going over, because while you're going to get Lisa's series to do ahead of time, you're going to get Lisa in person. Plus, we're going to be doing all kinds of manifestation work. Again, all that we're going to deal with conscious mind stuff because everyone can access that very easily. And half the time we're all, like I said, focused on things that actually activate negative energy. And we think we're doing a good thing. We're putting up a vision board and we're wondering why don't I have any of that stuff? Well, that's exactly what you activate every time you think that. So we're looking at how do we release resistance, and we're going to go over that, and you're going to own that in your body by the end of the weekend. Not only that, plus you're going to get this Money Accelerator series. So jjflazanes.com/bootcamp for the event. And then jjflazanes.com/money for Lisa's special offer on the Money Accelerator series. So, and now Lisa will be back because one of the things that I love about what she's moving into in her work is less personal one-on-one stuff and more of these programs, again, to help more of you with some of the things that you're dealing with. But when we come back, which is going to be, in a couple of months, Lisa and I are going to talk about forgiveness. And that's another huge one that stops people from moving forward. Forgiveness of others, forgiveness of self, forgiveness of family. So we're going to talk about forgiveness when we come back in a couple of months. But for now, let's make the rest of 2019 the most abundant year and half of a year we ever have. I'm on board for that. How about you?
I'm on board also. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Come join us. I promise you won't be disappointed. You will not only be disappointed, you will be more abundant in every area of your life. Lisa, you're amazing and I love you. And thank you so much for being on the show today.
I love you too. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about JJ's other podcasts or free tools to help your business and health, visit jjflazanes.com. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this show and rate and review it on iTunes. Have a fit and fabulous day.